And then the last one, now therefore, should be therefore be resolved, should be inserted.
You're on top of it.
And then you just,
You were way ahead of me, so I'm not, you lost me.
On the bottom of the page.
on page one, it says therefore be resolved.
Which one should be replaced with and? Should be an and.
Yes.
No, that should be strictly.
It's bolded.
If you have and.
Very bottom.
Very bottom, semicolon,
Okay, so
and.
strike that.
No.
Right, strike the and then add that again.
And then on the very last, oh, this one's different.
I think the pages are out of order.
We got different copies here.
You've got the other, just a moment.
And here's the other one.
We've got
These are my originals, so.
Yeah, some of the same errors here. So, line out, therefore be it resolved.
There should be after each of the whereases, it should end with and until you
Correct.
get to the
That's
last
all.
one, it should be a period.
Yes.
And then on the,
Now, page two, now therefore be it resolved, needs to be it resolved, be inserted.
Yeah.
we've got,
Yeah.
we've got, so this is the front page with this,
What do you got, 2 different copies?
yeah.
Is that why one's all twisted up?
There's two different proclamations.
Two proclamations.
One is Crime Victims Week, and one is Child Abuse
Okay,
Prevention.
Well, since this
So
that
this-
there is what actually got people.
But what's in the packet is, because on the victim's right, where the second page has the National Child Abuse Neglect Prevention Month. So we've got them mixed up in the packet.
Yeah.
So that,
It may be right. Reverse the pages from your packets and take another look.
yeah, so that, to take the second page from
Oh, that's
G5
good. Very good.
and put it on,
That copier, I swear, that copier.
What's the, Mr. Chairman, since the week that they're asking for is April 9th, 25th, and the month is the whole month of April, what I suggest is that we continue this for our first meeting in April and allow for the formatting,
We'll make it
cleaning up, cleaning up proclamations, so that they can be done correctly. Trying to do that here is not working out.
my apologies.
Okay, we'll let staff fix that in the back.
Yeah, and we got plenty of time to accommodate their schedule.
Let's, we need a motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar.
There's already.
Already done that?
Remainder?
We need a motion to table
G5.
Now, this moves to table G5.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Did we do G6 already?
Yes.
Are we good now? Did I miss something?
Nope, nope.
Page one.
Okay, then we'll go to, we got we're good to H, departmental report. Okay, we'll start off with H1.
Mrs. Morgan's going to present this item.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman,
Good morning,
members of
Julie.
the Board of Supervisors. I am here today to ask the board to consider allocating a new position of Information Services Supervisor 1/2, approve a draft job description, and to increase the appropriation in salary and benefits in the Internal Information Services Department budget, which requires a 4/5 vote. In the memo to the board, I talked about the IT committee, which is has representation from almost all county departments. They have discussed and are in support of hiring a new information services supervisor to assist the information services department with an increased demand for services from almost all county departments. The need is increasing and demand on this department is growing every day. Most departments are headed towards relying more on this department Almost every department has a mission-critical application that either resides on the servers in ISD or uses the internet through the Lassen County Information Services Department. Lassen County Office of Education staff are wonderful. We want to continue that relationship with them, and they've been a great resource for Lassen County. At this point, though, we would recommend that we continue to work with them, but enhance our staff to have project coordination with them and some supervision over our county staff that we currently have.
Right now, we have how many county staff in this area?
Two.
Two.
We have two wonderful staff, but
Baldwin and Casey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they could use help at this point, and some coordination of efforts, project management, supervision. They are wonderful, but we don't want to burn them out. So included in your packet is an add to staff business case prepared by an IT committee member based on discussion at one of the committee meetings. And there's a long list of skills that we'd like this person to have, and there's a long list of knowledge and abilities and duties and responsibilities in the attached job description. So the hope is to put it out there and see what kind of candidates we can get, and hopefully find someone that will meet most of these. We just need to make a permanent, we need a permanent enhancement of staff at this point to move on. So I did put in here the fiscal impact. It will come, the $15,000 that's requested today will come from current fund balance, which is available. And there is a future estimated annual cost, depending on the qualifications of the candidate, of $63,000 to $69,000, depending on what applicants we can get. Also, like I said, there's a pretty extensive job description that I'm asking for approval for, and then enhancement to business case. And we do have a project list for county departments. It is 4 pages long, so there's quite a bit of work that needs to be accomplished there. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the requests.
Question to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we have two staff, and we also work with the Lassen County Education. Is this going to be a shared position, or is it just strictly going to be for Lassen County, or is it going to be shared, or I mean, how's this?
We've had time to look at how it's operating. I mean, really, we've been buying some time to see what we need to do to move forward into the future. And the County Office of Education is great, but they also have their own functions and responsibilities they need to take care of. This person that we're requesting would be a person for Lassen County, so someone to supervise and coordinate the efforts on the daily basis of the two staff that we have, and also work with the County Office of Education to prioritize projects and to work for the county. So this is going to be a county staff person. So someone above the two staff people we have now to supervise and coordinate their efforts, but to also work in project coordination and to coordinate with the County Office of Education staff to help move some of our county projects along. And
So every department will utilize this person?
And it actually will be paid for by all users of computers in the county. So that will include general fund as well as federal and state funded programs. The cost per user, if you have one computer in your department, will be $180 to $200 per year. If you have a department of 10, it's about $1,800 to $2,000. So it's not a whole lot when you consider the entire county. We have 350 users right now. But last year, 14-15. So, and we're talking about adding more, so there's more demand for services. Departments need computers.
I have one other question. On the back page here, under impact, you say you will be impacted. You have the different departments with the number of parentheses behind them. Is that the number of computers, or is that the number of employees, or what is that?
It should be the number of computers. I didn't prepare this. Total users is 459, so that probably is computers per department, but I didn't prepare this. It was prepared by an IT committee member.
It's computers. I was just very surprised because when I got down to the sheriff and jail, there was 95 computers. The sheriff, I imagine that's probably some laptops that go with the deputies out to deal during the fog deals.
Yeah.
And there are locations not at the sheriff's department.
So all the software, the new software we've purchased is implemented and being used correctly. Now, I know we had a little bit of a problem with that.
We had a backlog of hardware that had not been deployed.
Oh, okay.
I think it is correct.
And so it's being utilized by all the staff now.
We're currently deploying this year's purchases,
Yeah.
and that's being divided up by our 2 staff members, so they're working hard to get those out.
Any more questions? Public have any questions? Third back.
I'd like to address the board if I may.
Yeah, come to the board and, save your name, position. For the recorder.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Eric Nielsen, Director of Social Services. I'd like to speak in support of this proposal. I have some history with the IT department, having worked as social services IT technician, having worked extensively with both of the staff members who are there, and then serving on the IT committee since its creation or recreation. I wholeheartedly support what I'm nervous.
Don't need to be nervous.
I can sing in public and dance in public, but speaking is not my thing. I should just kind of do a little number.
But I would have to say, that you've done an outstanding job. You're doing a good job speaking at the podium despite the fact.
I am supportive of Julie's recommendation. We've discussed this extensively over the years, and I just want to highlight that the Office of Education has been a great support to us. And you know, this is not any indication of us separating that partnership. I hope that we can continue to grow it in the future. But we have a really present and urgent need for supervision and coordination of the staff members that are there. Having spoken with both of them, I think that they both, having talked extensively with both John and Lacey, the employees that are there, they need this. They need someone that's there day to day that can help guide and direct them, prioritize the work that they're doing. And you know, there is an extensive backlog. Social services is one of the most computerized departments. We try to handle as many of the needs as they can. I still put my IT hat on from time to time to relieve the burden that they bear, and I know that I'm holding back in things that I could move forward on if the county had capacity to do this project. And I recognize the impact that my department has a federal and state funded department with a large number of users on the county as a whole, and I can just say that we need this very badly. So, that's a question.
Question? See none, I guess everybody's happy. Oh, we got one back. Miss Spencer.
I have 3.
Come to the podium and you got 3.
I have 3. You can do them at a time. What percentage of this work now is presently done by the Office of Education? 50%, 60, 80%? What percentage is being done?
Would like to answer
I think the point is that we've got work that's not getting done. And that's,
So you don't know. Julie?
It's a team effort.
Where are you?
I wouldn't say I could quantify it as a percentage.
Half?
Their 5 staff people
5?
that.
are working with ours, and it's a team effort. So, it really enhances if someone doesn't have knowledge, another person does. So I can't say it's a percentage. It's just the whole team.
So
Team of
5 versus 2. 5 plus 2. What are the names of the 2 people that are county employees that do this in IT?
Robert, can you answer that?
Sean Baldwin and Lacey
Fur.
Fur.
Believe it or not, you're not a member of the board.
I didn't
Who
think
is
you
it?
confined your.
We have staff here and
Lacey Fur is
Lacey?
Lacey and Sean Ball.
And Sean?
Yes. They've been here, I think one of them's been here about 15 years, the other one's 17. They've been here from basically inception of the IT department.
I don't know who you direct the question to,
the board, I think, would be appropriate.
and then you give it to him. I guess he knows a lot You have two people that have been here a long time. Can you promote within and then hire an additional expert? Was that considered to, instead of hiring is 69,000, can these people have the expertise to take that job?
Mr. Megan will answer that for you.
Yes, those options were considered, and it's our recommendation that the position be recruited.
Now, can I ask a question about that? So, you create this position and level, even one of those two long-term employees can apply for this position.
Absolutely.
Hired in this position, which then opens up their position to be recruited at a lower level. So that's how you get to where Mrs. Spencer wants to go.
You got me there.
I can get you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions on this agenda item? What's your name, sir?
Maury Anderson, Planning and Building Services, member of the IT committee. There's a number of committee members here, and I just want to reiterate, you don't need 10 more testimonials, but I want to commend our IT department and Julie. I think it's a really well-written letter that explains the situation, and a lot of consideration went into this. It's unanimous in the IT group, and again, commend Julie and Sean and Lacey and department head for where we are right now. It's a tremendous advancement they've made, and it's right. It's ready. We need more help.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I agree with you. Anybody else? Yeah.
I'd like to hear from Robert on his side on the Lassen County Office of Education.
Sure. Robert Talley, Lassen County Office of Education. We've been providing IT support for you guys for several years now, and one of the things that we originally signed up for was to do project work to kind of get you guys caught up and fill that gap that you guys have there. One of the things that has occurred over time, and it's something that we have been kind of watching and see it develop, is that because we're providing that service now and that Lacey and Sean are able to be more effective, we're getting more requests than what we used to get. And a lot of people like Eric that were holding back are starting to come to us and say, hey, we've been wanting to do this for years and we need to get this project on there. As well as there's some big projects that are coming up that we're going to need to have people there to be able to do. We can't just depend on a vendor to come in and install something that's going to interface with the computer systems. You have to have somebody there that can guide them, direct it. And right now we're struggling with that because we have so many things going on between all the different deployments and different things that are happening within the county. And everything is being tied together. So you want to make sure that that integration is done correctly. And we're going to need the staff. That's really what it comes down to. And we could either backfill it with a larger contract from the County of Ed, but then you don't have somebody here consistent all the time. And that's why we discussed this and said it would really be nice to have somebody that coordinates these, so you're not paying for me to sit in a meeting where this person could do that and coordinate everything and then have us do the projects, but the actual stuff that works. I think that would be more effective in the long term.
So I think Mr. Talley really brings to a head the real point we have here, but I think it's important also to note that this is really not a new position. We actually had this position from the inception of the program back in the 90s until just a few years ago when the individual in the position passed away unexpectedly. And at that time, it kind of threw everything into a crisis. The ability to be able to go out and recruit and fill a position was not really feasible given the challenges then. And it was at that time that your department, at the Office of Ed, reached out and partnered with our, you might say, remaining staff, okay, in terms of putting together the system we have right now. So we did have a position in which actually the establishment of the IT program and the services across the board was created by this individual. But but with his demise, it basically created a void and an interruption. So I think the thing that's encouraging to me is that if we do reestablish this position, that kind of a leadership role, which I think is probably good and timely, that we maintain the connectivity of our operations with the Office of Ed in terms of that collaboration. Because the problem we had with that prior operation is that it was kind of operating in a vacuum. and only certain people knew what was going on, and when a person all of a sudden is suddenly gone, you know, the people that step in and backfill, you don't have that cross-fertilization of the platforms, and I think that's where we would be better served by having, you know, multiple interests involved in terms of, you know, putting this thing together, rather than having all the eggs in one basket and that one person controlling the basket, which is what we had before. So I think, Mr. Chairman, this is not something new. It's just basically reestablishing something that we had, maybe in a slightly different format. So I think that's well and good.
Good, thank you, Jim. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. We have a motion. Any questions from the audience before we vote on this? Seeing none. We have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion is second. Any more discussion? If that requires 4/5 vote.
I have a question. What kind of a motion?
To fund the,
Fund, okay.
He was giving away your questions to everybody.
I would say,
There's actually three components to the action request.
allocate new position of information services supervisor 1/2. Approve the draft job description, increase appropriation, salaries and benefits by $15,000 and fund 104-0322. 4/5 vote required.
That's the motion.
that's the motion.
That's the motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Excuse me, please, pull the board.
Wasn't there a second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Supervisor Chapman?
Aye.
Supervisor Alba?
Aye.
Supervisor Hapco?
Aye.
Supervisor Hammond?
Aye.
Supervisor Pryor?
All right. Passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We're going to take a 5-minute break.
He's going out the other side. But we got to react to that.